everybody. How you doing? I am Nick Gibson, and welcome to this very impromptu episode of Comics Watch Live. Joining me today is the very awesome Taladia Plays. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you for having me. Hi,
That's
thank you
good.
for having me.
Yep, and good to see you, Darius. Nice to see you right off the bat. So, Taladia kind of messaged me earlier today, and we kind of wanted to discuss about the recent DC news and all the stuff with like Ezra Miller and all that really good stuff. And so take it
Yeah.
off, Taladia. Kind of catch people up.
So, what's been happening is, as the Variety article suggests, that he was arrested. Now, this happened back in May. In the article, it stated that this happened in May, and he apparently, according to Flash Film News Twitter handle, is that he's had rehab since July, which is a really big news that broke.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, we know that David Zaslav is doing a 10-year plan for DC. We know it's gonna be great.
So my only response to is Zaslav? Does he have the plan?
Of course!
Of course he's got the plan. Of course he's got the plan. Of course. Your boy knows, like Zaslav knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
Plus,
and like with Ezra, it's the things just keep mounting up. Like we thought it was kind of done for right now, but like he recently got arrested for burglary
but
in Vermont. Oh, go ahead.
but just remember, um, he remember when what's his name? Thingy got Thingy got hate. What's it called? What's his name? Ray Fisher. Hit piece after hit piece after hit piece by Variety, Hollywood Report. It's the same thing with Ezra Miller now.
So you think it's because like Ezra Miller, he seems to be on the side of the establishment. So like I don't know why people would be going after him because like he hasn't been talking down
It's hate
about
piece.
stuff.
It's hate. It's all about the hate with the old regime now. And you got to think about it. When the what's that called? Not Variety. Rolling Stone got the article wrong completely. They tried to take a shot at Zack Snyder, take a shot
The night
at,
before the digital dropped.
yeah, the night before the digital release drop. Yeah, they took
Mm-hmm.
a shot at quite a lot of people in the article, and it failed
Yeah, it was kind of
miserably.
that thing broke so many records. The digital did so well, and honestly, the hits are just keep coming. Like, obviously, Batgirl getting canceled. Like, for the record, I do feel bad for the cast and crew. But like, I honestly, we need to kind of go in a new direction, and it just, you know. It's just really kind of really brings a lot of stuff with the Flash up in the air, up in question.
Yeah. But as far as from what I can tell, expect something big coming from uh, Warner Brothers.
Do you have inside information?
Let's put it like this: Zack Snyder liked a article in regards to the Snyderverse timeline that Zaslav was apparently he's going to go down. He was given three options. He was given three options: the Snyderverse, a reboot, or continuation of the what we had. And he's gone for the Snyderverse. He's not rebooting the timeline at all. According to Mikey
Because
Sutton and Sil Abdul, by the way, shout out goes to them. If you haven't checked them out, you guys, what are you guys doing? Go check them out. Sil Abdul's YouTube page, Sil Abdul Inc. on YouTube. If you check him out, he covers a lot of DC stuff, and he gets his stuff right majority of the time.
yeah, as much as
Especially
I
when it
hate
comes
to
down to
admit it, Sutton is usually pretty right on the money. So
yeah. So, got
so
questions?
um, get some really loyal people in the chat and whatnot. So like anything you can kind of share, like anything that you think you can kind of share, give us some juicy tidbits or just kind of info or stuff maybe you shared it with other people that you can share with my audience.
I can tell your audience right now is that this move that Zaslav has got going, i- it will lead to a better DC than what we had previously from
And
2018 onwards.
so obviously I'm a Snyder fan, but like
Yeah,
honestly, I feel like going back to the Snyderverse makes the most sense because you've already got that pre-established continuity. People do like these characters. They like Superman, they like Batman, they love Wonder Woman. You know, it's like you
yeah,
have these core, the Trinity. People like them, they adore them. You know, and if you go back to the Snyder, you don't have to do as much work rebuilding. It's more of a repair job, more of like a patch job than it is starting up a whole new wall. You know, and it's
yeah,
like you're not starting from scratch, and the foundation is strong. I mean, seriously, like Snyder, the Justice League was in 2016, you know, and it was strong enough to get the cut done. So it's like the foundation for Snyder is really freaking strong, and all you have to do is just build on from there, and it's honestly kind of the path of least resistance.
yeah. And it's like I said, um, the Snyderverse is going to be restored and it's going to be much greater than what it originally was. Like, I'm telling you guys,
So
Ray Fisher's
I
going to
have
come back.
I have some inside footage of David Zaslav talking to the board of directors after he kind of purged everything.
Change my state of mind.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Love so hard to find.
we got him.
I pulled the Jared. I pulled the Jared.
Wow.
Uh, so like that's not the only really thing on like the WB front or DC Comics front. Apparently
Yeah.
there's like this game coming out. This
Yeah.
like Gotham Knights game.
Yeah.
Tell me
All
kind
right.
of
Let's
what you
talk
got
about it.
about it.
All right. So Gotham Knights is coming out in less than 2 months, guys. We're literally on the verge of its release. And IGN have just done a hit piece, and
Of
guys,
course.
of course, and IGN have done a IGN first exclusive focusing on new versions of Mr. Freeze and
Do you got anything you want to share? Like share your screen or
yeah.
anything? Just kind of talk.
Oh yeah. Hold on.
Yeah,
Let
just
me
kind of start. Just start if you can talk while doing it, or I can kind of fill in the gap.
screen share screen.
Yeah. So like anyway, so I'm not like I haven't been following this, but like Talady wants to talk about it, and Talady is a really good fellow, so I'm more than happy to kind of give him my platform to kind of talk about it. So, all right, you ready? All right.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So this is what we got here.
So it says here by the article, it says Gotham Knights designing Mr. Freeze and giving him a gang to play with. The key thing to know about Gotham Knights factions is that they aren't just henchmen for a name villain. The gangs of enemy you find across at Gotham's darkness streets are sort of an affiliation with their own preference of street crime and equipment, but they're mercenaries and not cultists. Take our subject for today, the regulation factor and classic supervillain Mr. Freeze. The regulators are an existing gang in this version of Gotham, a group of tech-enhanced endures who steal advanced goods, traffic organs, augment their own power to their ill-gotten gains. You meet them doing their own thing as you clean up the streets, but you can also find them affiliated with Mr. Freeze and adapting his penchant for ice-enhanced element attacks. As a result, in effect, Mr. Freeze hires the regulators for portions of his storyline. They don't just flock his cause, it leads it led to a very interesting design for Gotham Knights art team. But how do you design a villain and a gang, um, and a gang that feels like they could work together, but not necessarily always do. Interestingly, the process was more organic than forced. The team knew they wanted to include the icon Mr. Freeze, and his association with the gang came later. At first, it was all about building a villain felt recognizable without feeling overly familiar. Now, here's the
So
images.
I should let you know before we get into this. I actually do have an exclusive clip of like Mr. Freeze in the game. All right, here you go.
All right, everyone, chill.
Sorry, I had that clip, and you're talking about Mr. Freeze. I had to unleash it.
Okay, so here's the concept art.
I actually
Very
really
cool.
like it. It looks that first one you showed was like very classic, kind of classic Mr. Freeze.
Yep, that is the classic Mr. Freeze, the cryo suit.
Yo,
Definitely.
Batman, you do not know the cold-hearted chill that I deal with, Batman. You know, just like
Yeah. So this says when we design. So WB Montreal says when we get a villain like Mr. Freeze, I mean, the guy is has got so much history. It's a challenge for our team when when we get it. Explain character art director Jay Evans. It's what it's where do we go from here? Because look at all the past events, versions of the character that have been done really well. First is kind of jumping off a point where he fits into our Gotham City on technological kind of level. He's the most advanced technology piece of a Gotham. That's not to say this version of Freeze is pure sci-fi fantasy. The key for the design team was in creating someone who is advanced technology and was still rooting in reality. A lot of it says here as well. A lot of our references to the medical equipment molded cool, almost sci-fi shape with part lines and production design influence, but then he still understands that there's still mechanical connections, it's still relatable, not sci-fi blob where you just have to use your imagination. Brilliantly built tech to help the felt in some way it's realistic. The art team used for some advanced tech to help them make that happen. Now, obviously, discuss here about the Freeze's hires regulators and a portion of his story arc, which I don't really want to dive into as much, but
I
I'll
mean,
just
well, the thing that I always found Mr. fascinating about Mr. Freeze is, well, he is like one of the classic Batman villains. He's only really been relevant for like 20 or 30 years because like he only really got his signature backstory in Batman the Animated Series. It was that like Heart of Ice, that episode of Batman the Animated Series
yeah,
that gave him the whole like backstory Nora and really made him like a tragic
and
anti-hero
then
at best kind of thing.
yes,
Um,
and then in Arkham City, he had like this anti-hero type of feel to him in Arkham City when
exactly.
he was first reintroduced. He was like this anti-hero. He wasn't like a villain at start. Like we only got the villain type of thing at the beginning of Arkham Origins, but sorry, in Arkham Origins DLC, but he was like more of an anti-hero than anything. But this is a straight
Yeah,
up villain. This is a straight up villain we've never had before. But this is the images of the regulators faction and their concept art. So you got the
hmm.
base form, the veteran, and the champion level. And as
Can
you
you
could,
go back to the previous one because it looks like the way their hands are waving, like they had some sort of psychic powers or whatever.
the technology base,
Oh, they're tech based. Okay.
yeah, tech base, and then this says base, veteran, champion, and named champion,
Hmm.
and then same with the male base, veteran, champion, and male named champion,
Mm-hmm.
and then the bruiser, big bruiserweight, which is base, veteran, champion level.
Oh man, I guess you could say that guy, the last one, was very well armed.
Yes,
I
and then
couldn't
this
have
is
placed those.
these are just the same, and then there's so many different enemy types as you can tell, different faces,
Hmm.
and then
They've
this
been
is
putting a
the
lot of work into this game.
drones assessment, kamikaze
Hmm.
drones, uh, cooling system, and there you go. Those are the regulators that you get within the game.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
But you also
Yeah.
get enemy faction type designs though. Like this is some of the stuff you get.
Hmm. Not bad.
All in Mr. Freeze's the color scheme.
Yes, you gotta have.
You gotta have the blue. You got to have the blue for the faction, which I
Yes,
like.
yes. Otherwise, you're not very cold-hearted.
I got that. I got that reference. But yeah, this is big.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice. It's nice to kind of see they're putting so much effort into this game. You know. Um, so where do you think the game's gonna go after it's gonna get released? Because like more than likely they're probably gonna release DLC for it. Like, any can you kind of
Mm,
speculate on like what they could do for DLC? Like,
I
obviously
don't
skin
think
packs are one thing.
I don't think there will be DLC.
I don't know. In this kind of game economy, it's kind of a given. At least that's how I see
Now,
it.
from what I can tell, it's like if the game was heavily focused on DLC, I think we would have got like a DLC pack to go with the pre-orders.
Yeah, like a season pass kind of thing. Like they'd be pushing that. So
Yep,
yeah, fair
but they're
enough.
not doing that. They're not doing that this
Hmm.
time around, guys. So, from what I can tell, is like this game is heavily focused on the main campaign itself, possibly 40 hours of gameplay.
I do think they might release skin pack because like they already have the infrastructure for like multiple skins of the characters. So I think releasing like skins later on,
There's no
I
microtransactions. Try to burst your bubble there. There's no microtransactions within the game. The devs confirmed that on their Discord server. They were
well,
like,
good for them. Good for them. I'm kind of a cynical person when it comes to that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
they said that, and we'll take them at the word. So
yeah. So they straight up said, look, no microtransaction, meaning no paid skins. You basically get the skins throughout the campaign, which is a
hmm,
big thing. Multiplayer, obviously, two-player co-op, which is a big feature for this game. Um, it gives a better experience if you play co-op than you do single player.
I think what they might do is kind of like what Spider-Man did, where they release free skins. Like they release kind of little Spider-Man skins to kind of coincide with certain things. I think at the very
Oh
most we
yeah,
might get that.
oh yeah. I think that's gonna happen regardless because let's say the Snyderverse is getting restored, right? And I want to
Hmm.
include, let's say, or the or let's say, the Robin Titan show or something. If they reimburse that, then you got yourself the
Or like
Titan show.
A Young Justice skin set because like there's Batgirl and Young Justice as Robin.
I mean,
Um,
technically the specs up, isn't it? Isn't it? Technically,
the what?
the specs up suits technically are like Young Justice.
I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm trying to think of like a property that has like both. I mean, they could do Titans. They could do Titans, like from the TV
Yeah,
show, because it has both Red Hood, Robin, and Nightwing in it. So like they could do skins based off of that. They could do because they had all three of those in
easily.
there. So you
Yeah.
know, uh, then I actually really like the Titan suit. The Nightwing suit from Titans. I think it's just beautiful. So is there anything else you wanted to talk about from Gotham?
Oh, just one little thing, just to give a heads up on guys. Tomorrow is if you're watching this at a later date, then you already know the Red Hood trailer's come out. But there is the Red Hood character trailer revealed tomorrow, which is on the 10th of August, and that's happening. And
Sorry, either his internet is bad or mine is, so it's kind of causing some issues. I do apologize.
that's what I'm going to be reacting to. No, it's all good.
Are you
Best to
are
worst.
you gonna be
Uh,
streaming the trailer reveal live? Like, are you gonna be doing live reactions?
nah, no. I'll just be doing it off stream,
Okay.
editing it myself because it's a long process, guys. Trust me, because the character trailer comes out, and then what we need is more. We're gonna possibly get more content. Anyway, from IGN, I'm possibly thinking we're gonna get stuff maybe towards the end of the week. Maybe because they dropped something today, but they never dropped a video today. Maybe tomorrow or the day after, they'll drop something.
Maybe. You never know, honestly.
Yeah. But that's what I gotta say
So-
about Gotham Knights, though.
So kind of keeping in the realm of video games, but like kind of going towards a more we're talking about going fast, but let's kind of go fast in a different direction and kind of start talking
Yeah.
about Sonic.
Oh yes.
So you said there is some origin stuff you wanted to talk about?
Yeah. So Sonic Frontiers is actually coming to Gamescom, and they'll be heading there. They're the first game officially announced by what's it called? They're the first studio, I believe, first game to be announced on at Gamescom.
Okay.
So which is big, like AAA budget if you're thinking about it. First AAA.
Yeah, because like Gamescom is usually like games dev and like indie and whatnot. You know?
Yeah. Plus, we know that Gamescom is going to be a lot bigger than it was last year.
Yeah, because like up until this year, everyone's been like, cough, cough, cough. Oh, we have to separate, and now we're kind of starting to. Now that's kind of going away, and we're whatnot. So, what do you think of Sonic Frontiers so far? Are you kind of excited for it?
I haven't seen. I've heard about it. I haven't seen it.
Like when I first heard about it myself, I thought it was like really cool. But like the more I see of it, it kind of feels like a Unity Store asset flip kind of game, and it just honestly, like it just kind of doesn't really seem like a game I want to play. So I've kind of dropped it up from my radar and whatnot. But I am more than happy to be surprised and convinced.
Yeah.
The thing that kind of interests me more is kind of talking about the Sonic Origins collection. In particular, regards to some of the music, because I was kind of talking about this before the stream, but like Michael Jackson was actually involved with a lot of the music. Now it wasn't as heavy as like some people thought, but like he was kind of more of a supervisory role, and then like he had a lot of his people work on it, and like some of the songs actually kind of did turn into Michael Jackson. I think "Stranger in Moscow," like one of the songs, and then
that's interesting.
Yeah. So have you played Sonic 3?
I played Sonic and Knuckles.
Okay. Are you familiar with Ice Cap Zone?
No.
All right, so I'm going to play you a little of this. Can you hear it?
No.
You can't hear it?
Nope.
I guess I didn't hear audio. All right, let me just redo that real quick. Audio. Okay. How about now?
Yeah.
Gotta pay attention to this melody. Yeah, that's Ice Cap Zone, and then the bass line,
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
By the way, the song is actually really good. I'm only really doing snippets of it because I'm trying not to get like struck down or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the common denominator for these two songs is I think it's Brad or Bruce Bruxler, who was actually on the Sonic team, and he actually was part of this band and whatnot. And you get that with like a lot of songs. And so kind of the controversy was for Sonic 3, they stripped out all of the Sonic 3 music and went back to the prototype music. Like the music they were brought kind of before they did the new stuff. And some of it's okay. I mean, I think a lot of my distaste for it is it's not the original, thus it sucks kind of thing.
Mhm.
But it's kind of something. It's really the big reason why I haven't bought Sonic Origins, because otherwise, from what I hear, it's actually a pretty decent collection of like all the classic Sonic games.
Right. Yeah.
But there's so many ways to play Sonic nowadays. Like Sonic 2 is my favorite, and like there's like a gajillion ways to play Sonic 2 nowadays. So it's not the biggest deal, if you will.
Yeah.
Oh, Darius, you didn't know about that? Like, you didn't know all about that kind of stuff? Like, I thought it was, like, fairly common gaming knowledge, but I guess I'm kind of showing my age with that. Yeah, like, Michael Jackson actually had, like, a big involvement with Sega, especially during the Genesis days. In fact, there is a Michael Jackson video game.
Interesting.
Michael.
Alright, I'm gonna stop it right there because like that'll anything more and someone will start sending their ninjas after me. But yeah, there was a Michael Jackson video game. It's called Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, and then yeah, and it's like the whole the woo in the launch base music. Yeah, I actually do remember that, Darius. Like and I just Okay, I need to turn that off. That was a remix, but yeah, like you kind of get the idea, It's really kind of interesting.
Yeah,
like
I do.
for the longest time, it was like an urban legend, like it was like, ooh, did you know Michael? And like, oh, they took it off because of the allegations, because like you got to realize this game came out the same year as his trial in '93. And then basically around Michael Jackson's death in 2009, they pretty much confirmed it. Like, yeah, he worked on the songs. They kind of just came out and said it. After he died, when it was cool to be a Michael Jackson fan again. Like how it goes with celebrities a lot of the times.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, is there any like really kind of like crazy like video game trivia that you know? And then Darius, feel free to share any trivia that you got in your head too.
There's one thing I can tell you guys that you probably don't know. Did you know that Paul Dini, a co-creator of Batman the Animated Series, actually wrote only Arkham City as Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, and never wrote Arkham Origins or Knight?
That's weird. Like I could see him not. I could see him not writing.
Origins.
Yeah, because like that wasn't done by Rocksteady, but like I don't know.
Arkham Knight. Yeah, basically, I figured this out. I found this out as well myself. So he got to work the main story up to just towards the end, just before Joker dies. That was his part. That's all his stuff that he wrote. After that,
well, you do know that like the Arkham Knight is heavily based off of Jason Todd from Battle for the Cowl storyline, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, take a look at this. This is the Arkham Knight. This is the Battle for the Cowl storyline from the late 2000s. and this is when Jason Todd decided he's going to be Batman. I mean, doesn't that really resemble the Arkham Knight?
Kind of, but in the same sense, kind of not.
Yeah, fair enough. They probably change a few things, but like the whole concept of like a more armored, pistol wielding Batman, I feel like the genesis of the idea genesis came from
I've
this,
been taken from
whatnot.
there, yeah. But like, there is some other things you possibly didn't know. So there was a Superman game that was heavily inspired by the Superman the animated series for Factor 5, which was cancelled
I
before it's
I think I
even got
remember
off the
hearing about
ground.
that. Did you remember that at one point they were
Yeah,
developing? There was like a Flash video game and actually a Daredevil video game that they were developing.
yep. So a Flash video game was done by Bottle Rock Productions, but it was done by
Mm-hmm.
Brash Entertainment, the same people who were going to do a Superman game. But obviously the publisher went bust, so they couldn't push that game out. Publisher, the studios, both went bust. So both of those
Yep.
games look good, by the way. The Flash game was gonna have Ryan Reynolds play the Flash. That's what the developers wanted,
Huh.
but it never happened. But it never happened because WB wanted him to play Green Lantern.
Did you know that I think it was Factor 5, the people who did the
Hmm.
Pandemic Studios, they're originally going to be doing a Battlefront 3
Like Doc,
during like the PS3. What?
yeah, I know
And
that.
there's actually
But
footage out there of it.
I know there was a Dark Knight game that was gonna happen, but never did.
Hmm. But yeah, like I'm actually like yeah, that's kind of something that I actually do. I actually do a lot of research into is like canceled games,
Yeah.
lost games, even lost media stuff.
So
Like,
so that
are
yeah.
you
So
familiar
the
with Spanish? I think it's Spanish bat. I think it's like Portuguese Batman or something.
mm, kind of. I only know
Yeah, it's
one
like a some.
Batman. There's
Well,
only
it was
one.
like some bootleg films that were made, um, back in like the late '60s.
Hmm.
Yeah, and some of them are kind of lost. Um, but yeah, it's really crazy because like you got these characters, they've existed for over 80 years, almost 100 years at this point, and of course there's gonna be kind of nooks and crannies you can explore. Oh, I got a good
Hmm.
one for you. So you know how they they had a Zorro series during the '60s. Did you know
Yep.
that Adam West guest starred on that Zorro series, and it was heavily implied that he was an ancestor of Bruce Wayne?
No,
That actually
I did not
happened.
know that. I did not know
Yeah,
that.
they didn't. I don't think they went out right and said it. I think his character was like something Wayne, but but it was played by Adam West, and I think this was like during his run as Batman. You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's a lot of these cross section of history, like the
But
fact that
the
Bruce Lee
whole
fought Robin.
yeah. But the whole idea Factor 5, bringing that back actually, the whole Factor 5 game was essentially it was going to be a sequel to Man of Steel. Sorry, not Man of Steel, sequel to Superman Returns, but that didn't
Hmm.
happen. But that's why they tried to separate it. But it was heavily influenced on Superman or Justice League, the animated series in the early 2000s, and they were basically going for that structure. It was a brawler type game. The devs basically, one of the devs actually came out and told us a lot of the structure, how the game was actually built, uh,
Hmm.
what the villains were going to be in the game, some of the what's how they laid out the story as well, which one story was in one chapters in Metropolis with subquests and submissions or whatever, and chapter
Hmm.
two is in Apocalypse, and chapter three is basically in Warworld or something like that. So it was
Yeah.
quite big. It's
So
just
what do you
basically
think
it wasn't
about
even an open world game.
the canceled Tim Burton Superman film of the late '90s that are making with Nicolas Cage
I think that
as
that
the
was a
head.
good decision. I think that was a good decision. Them canceling it. It needed to be cancelled.
I don't know.
That
Have you ever watched the documentary about the movie?
yes, yes.
I actually
I
think
don't.
it had some interesting ideas. I thought maybe it could have worked. I thought like
I
I don't know. It's like
maybe, but it was too early for its time. Way too early for its time.
I mean they were making good Superman movies back in like '77, so you know.
No, but if you think about it, 77 to 90s is completely different, right?
It's just a matter of tone. Like technology wise, they were able to make a good Superman movie in '77. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but they actually got the fans to believe that man could fly because they had
That was the
wires.
tagline. That was literally the tagline of the film. You'll believe a man
Yeah,
can fly.
yeah, but Tim Burton's version of it was essentially a very darker tone, and it wasn't even it just Nicolas Cage as Superman. I get the voice. The voice he has got the voice for Clark Kent and Superman, but he hasn't got the physique for it because they had like a body muscle suit over a Superman suit type of thing.
Yeah. Plus, honestly, the other thing is training regimens weren't as good then, even as far back as the late '90s as they are now. Like you can take like an actor, give them 6 months, and you can turn them from like a skinny person into like the
Yeah,
biggest hulkest brute ever. You know, because like training regimens are so good now. Like they've gotten so good at it. You know, that like it can totally be done. But like back then, like he wasn't as refined as it is now.
that
Even as recently as '97.
that's why I'm saying that uh the whole idea for Superman Lives, I don't think that's a good idea for that movie. The concept was good, but the execution was poor because they Nicolas Cage wasn't going to do it. Brandon Routh though did the physique. He did do the physicality side of things. Did the regiment and everything.
I think
So did
Brandon Ralph first came into the picture around the because like J.J. Abrams was gonna do Superman Flight. That's kind of the kind of the funny thing is because like
no,
a lot of these Superman actors they tried out multiple times because Henry Cavill was actually the
no, it
runner
wasn't.
up
It
for
wasn't.
Brandon Ralph. He wasn't.
Sorry, go on. What was? No.
Henry Cavill was
Brandon Routh was actually Brandon Routh was actually Bryan Singer's guy. Henry Cavill was
yeah. But
picked
what I'm
by
saying is
J.J. Abrams at first in '04, between '04 to
because I know that
'06.
I know that Amy Adams was actually in the running for Lois both in Flyby and in Returns. Like she almost was
Yeah,
cast as Lois Lane in Returns, and then yeah, it's crazy how far back some of these goes. Like kind of going back to Doctor Who, like uh, uh, Peter Capaldi, the guy who played the 13th Doctor, he actually
yeah.
tried out to be the Doctor back in the mid '90s for to be 8th Doctor. He lost out to I forgot his name, but like yeah, that's how far back some of these actors go and how long they've been trying to get the role. It's crazy.
That's far back. That's well far back.
Yeah.
But yeah. So like, I think like what WB is doing now is restoring the Snyderverse,
hmm
bringing back Cavill, bring back Ben Affleck, bringing back Gal Gadot. Ray Fisher might be on the way as well.
Because I think the problem with because like the whole like we'll just do anything, get what works. That could be fine, but you still need a director with like a good vision of what they want. Good studio head.
Yeah,
Basically, WB's thing has been like let's just throw stuff at the wall, see what sticks, and sure, some stuff has stuck. The Joker obviously made a crap ton of money. And
Aquaman.
then Aquaman, as well. Shazam, while not a big hit, did pretty well, and like critically was audiences thought it was pretty decent. And then obviously Patterson Batman. But like one factor I actually saw is like it actually cost them a lot of money to get them to like $700 to $800 million for
Mhm.
Robert Patterson's Batman. So like they actually had to put a lot of marketing money into it.
That's why they're not going to do it this time. They're not going to put a lot of marketing for Batman 2 or even any other DC films going forward now, because they're going to
And
heavily
I think
focus
that's another
on
reason why they want to do the Snyderverse, because like the fans kind of market it themselves, like because like you have naturally generating hype when it comes to the Snyder stuff.
Yeah.
It just happens. Like you announce a Man of Steel 2, the internet will literally go ape shit.
Mhm.
It's like, I'm sorry, the internet is broken today. Please come back tomorrow. Like it would be so freaking wild, and not just from like the Superman fans or like the Snyder Cut fans, but from everybody. Everyone would go wild. Even the people, the antis, would just be raging.
But like it's like I said, the way things are going now, the new regime knows what the fans want.
So far, that
Hamada's gone.
definitely seems.
Hamada's
Yeah.
gone. The clown, he's gone. He's basically put his foot out the door. DC. Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi are taking everything over, and Henry Cavill will come back. Gal will
I'm
come
making
back.
a prediction. I'm making a
Rafe,
prediction. No matter how
go
good
on.
Black Adam does, there will not be a Black Adam 2. Because it's
You,
pretty obvious. Rock came in. He thought he was going to be the top of the head of the DC universe, and it's very clearly he's gotten the wake up call. Like you can tell. Like at Comic-Con, all people would ask him about was Henry Cavill, and you could tell he wasn't prepared for that. And like it's like the Black Adam, and Black Adam is a character like Shazam maybe could have taken over because he's got that positivity and be the heroic angle. But like Black Adam can never be the figurehead of the
Superman.
DC
Yeah.
universe. He can never be the Superman. Like if
Yeah.
Shazam might have been able to, because of like the hope and this heroic part. He might have been able to work if he couldn't do Superman. But Black Adam, you cannot shove him into that role. The best they can do with Black Adam is make him an anti-hero. Like the reason why Venom works is because Venom's not a hero. He's a villain that sometimes does good things. He does bad things to bad people. And it's like you love to. It's like, and like the Venom films are kind of like this glorious train wreck, which somehow kind of work. And it's like that's why those films actually are pretty good, in my opinion.
Yeah. So like I was gonna say though, is that Black Adams, it's not Black Adams, The Rock's production team want to be on the committee for DC Studios. Now we don't know if that's gonna be done, but he wants to be on the committee basically, The Rock, because of the whole fact
Because he
that
wants to assure Black Adam, whatever.
Black Adam, the Superman franchise as well, which Henry Cavill is secure as well. There's also that because his Rock's agent is the same agent as Henry Cavill. If you do not know that, so there's that too. Um, but I truly believe Henry Cavill will come back. I think that I think what they're gonna do is they'll do Black Adam, and it'll set up Superman in Black Adam 2, but in a grander scale.
See,
As
the problem is they should have had Black Adam appear in Shazam 2, which they clearly set up at the end of Shazam. Like, they clearly set it up, like in the movie, like, oh, there's one more chair. Oh, we'll treat him just fine. And a Shazam movie would have done great, and then you can do a spin-off movie, but no.
no, the problem was, here's the thing. Two things that happened. The first thing was obviously that Walter Hamada was in charge then.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is that David F. Sandberg does not want to tamper with the thing until it was released. It's like Black Adam doing a prequel story makes sense. To have like a prequel to the Justice League, so to say, makes sense, and then introduce Superman, Henry Cavill, Superman towards the end, and then maybe the third film
I
will
mean,
have.
okay, when is this film set? Because it looks like it's set in, like, modern day.
No, Henry. It's the JSA. They got the JSA in it.
But when is it set? Like, is it set in, like, the 40s or something?
No. So
Is
it's
it set
like
in modern
modern
day?
time, modern day, but with the JSA in it.
Okay, so it does take place in, like, current timeline. So it's not really much of a prequel. It's just modern day.
Modern tech, like they don't have like modern technology because they
Yeah,
have
I'm
like
just
the
trying to understand,
plane
like,
and
the
everything.
timeline of this. Because, like, you called it a prequel and, like, the JSA, which like okay, I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense of all this.
Yeah. So I know it's a bit muddling, but for me, it's like takes place before Justice League, well before that. Um, maybe maybe around the 80s, 70s, or 80s, which would make
Okay.
sense.
Because like you got to think of like the timeline. Because Man of Steel happened in 2013. So and then Batman was active for like 20 years before Batman v Superman. So like Batman probably started in like 1996, kind of
Yeah.
thing. So 80s, 70s probably could work. Um, I just think if you're gonna do honestly, if you're gonna do a prequel to the JSA, just go full in. Do it, have it be like the 40s or 50s kind of tale.
But the problem is The Rock always wants to make it about himself. That's his issue. He's always been
Yeah,
like
look what
that.
happened with Fast and Furious. Look what happened with Fast and Furious.
Not only Fast and Furious, even in WWE, he always made it about himself.
Mm-hmm.
Not once did he say, "Oh, you know what? Maybe I think because The Rock had a problem with another former WWE superstar, CM Punk, and he wouldn't allow CM Punk to be part of the main event. It was going to be Rock and he wanted Rock and Cena to be part two. Nobody, realistically, nobody saw that coming. But at the same time, I know Cena is a business guy. So business point, it makes sense, but from a fan perspective, no, it just you really lose a lot of fan base from that. So
Yeah.
it's all about me, and it's not about oh maybe I should bring in other people. Like that's why he asked about people asked him about the Superman. It's like, well, why aren't they talking about my film? Because two things, bro. People want Cavill back. People
So,
want.
um, very briefly,
Mhm.
I'm assuming you're a wrestling person.
Yes.
Okay. I want to ask you, what are your thoughts about Vince McMahon retiring? Because like I'm somewhat familiar with the situation. I'm not really a
He
wrestling
had
fan,
to
but
be
like I
done.
like watching a lot. I like watching a lot of the history stuff and like
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. Like I have like a passing familiarity with all the stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, because I know
So
Vince was having the sex scandals and whatnot.
yeah. So it had to be done regardless. It had to be. He had to retire regardless. He wasn't
So what do
at
you
that.
think with like Stephanie and Triple H running the show now?
Well, they've actually made the show a lot better. They got Carry Cross back, and some of the other female wrestlers are coming back as well. Sasha Banks and Naomi is returning,
Yeah, I
according
think
to some
honestly, I
inside
think
groups.
that was probably one of the better things that Stephanie McMahon did is she really made like the female wrestlers viable. And holy crap, all you had to do is treat them like treat their storylines like any other wrestlers. Like, oh my god, what a crazy concept.
And that's why, like, since Triple H taken over after SummerSlam, it's basically been the ratings have gone up, and AEW has gone downhill basically because they brought in new wrestlers and stuff, but it hasn't peaked what WWE has done.
See, that's the
WWE,
problem with any company that tries to challenge WWE. It's like they do really good. All the stars like that don't work on WWE, they drop ship to the next one. Happens every time. WCW, TNA, now AEW, and it's just the same cycle every time.
the problem is like WWE knows what they're doing with their product. They know what they're doing. Triple
Mm-hmm.
H knows how to creatively bring newer talent to the main roster and
He
how to make
created
them.
NXT, and NXT has done more for WWE than probably anything else in the last 30 years.
And that's why he's overseeing the main product and main WWE product. And I think that going forward, Triple H knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I think that's Triple H definitely. It's a shame he's not a wrestler anymore. I mean, I know he'll probably be like an
He
in
had to
ring.
give he had to give up the wrestling business, in ring competitive business because of his health.
Do you think like he'll be able to like take bumps at least
No,
like people help you? So
no,
it's,
he's
it's
already said.
strictly just I'm gonna come in, talk, and leave kind of thing.
Yeah, that's strictly what he's doing.
I mean, he's a good
Announcements.
mic guy, so that's fine. He's good on the mic, so
He's
that's
a
fine.
strictly like I mean, from a business standpoint, he knows what's what is making numbers, what isn't, and he's actually a really decent person. When you meet him, he talks to you. You have really good interactions with him in interviews, discussions, and you name it. It's like
I
he
mean,
he knows the
CM Punk.
product, the back.
See, the thing is, Triple H has been involved with the business side of it for like almost 20 years now. If he didn't know what he was doing, he wouldn't be involved.
Actually, it's actually 10 years, not 20 years.
Hmm? I thought he was doing stuff in the 2000s, like on the business
No,
side.
no,
Or was that just more kayfabe?
no. That was well, he married Stephanie in
Yeah,
late
I
90s.
know. I know about the whole China Triple H
No,
Stephanie
no, no. I
connection.
mean, he married Stephanie in early 2000s, late 90s, right? But
Yeah, because
he didn't get his hand into the business until 2010. Like he didn't like get NXT till 2012, basically.
so
So
before then it was more kayfabe being a part of that. So
yeah,
probably
more
right.
kayfabe type of thing. Yeah, basically more of a
Okay.
kayfabe for the fans and everything.
Okay, that
And
makes sense.
but he was just trying to get the knowledge of the business and whatnot from behind the scenes, and it did. It worked
Do you
out
think
better.
someone's gonna? Do you think someone's gonna swoop in and buy WWE? And then if who do
No,
you think it? Who do you think?
WWE is staying for the way it is. It's not gonna be sold off.
Because the problem is WWE. If you're gonna sell it, it's probably gonna cost someone at least $10 to $20 billion.
WWE isn't. Here's the thing: WWE is not gonna sell. That's the thing. It's not gonna be sold off to another company because why would it? Stephanie's is part of the company as well. You got to think about it. It's in their inheritance too.
Yeah, and it's like it's like with Stephanie and Triple H in charge, it's the company stabilized, and they got other people there. Like I think Tony Khan, or is he the AEW guy?
Now,
Um,
Tony Khan's AEW. Nick Khan is the WWE guy.
Khan. Sorry.
So
Are they brothers, or is it
no
just kind of like a coincidence?
coincidence.
Okay, it just makes things confusing. But yeah,
So Tony Khan is the owner of AEW, but he has made more of a mess than WWE has. WWE has brought back Cody Rhodes. WWE has brought back Karrion Cross. WWE has brought
yeah, because
back
Cody Rhodes was like the AEW guy for a while. He was
yeah,
doing really good there.
he was doing
Because
great
like
there. Yeah,
what's really funny is Cody Rhodes kind of wasn't going anywhere in WWE, so he jumped ship to AEW. He got over, got really big, and then they brought him back, and it just that guy is just made for wrestling. Like seriously, just look at him, look at his personality. That guy is a natural. I mean, he's a Rhodes, so what do you expect?
plus he knows what he's doing. He's done this
He's a
time.
Road. He's a Rhodes. He's part of that great wrestling family.
Yeah. Plus, as well, if you think about it, he knows the product. He
Mm-hmm.
knows what Vince. He knows that what's it called? What Triple H wants from the standards
Mm-hmm.
of the business. And if you think about it, his father did do NXT. So
His father, like Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes did NXT. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's something you didn't know, did you?
I mean, I know Dusty Rhodes is like a big wrestling person, but I didn't know he was involved with NXT.
Yeah, he was heavily involved in NXT, the first class of NXT actually. He was
Hmm.
heavily involved with that. Dusty was there for until about 2014, 2015, I'd say,
Hmm.
just before his death, really. Um,
Okay.
which was a shame, yeah. Um, he basically did some side activities with Cody and Goldust and whatnot on screen, but off screen he was really good to the kids for within NXT, help them find themselves, the character, what they're going to be in WWE.
Do you think they'll bring Paige back for anything? Because like I know her neck
Nah,
screwed up. She can't really do wrestling. Do you think they'll
Paige
just
is
bring her
done.
back as a mic
Paige is
person?
no, Paige is done. She
That's
is
sad.
done. No, here's the thing. She did two scandalous things that no other WWE superstar has ever done on on anything.
What?
Sex tape.
She's not the first one to do a sex tape. Like Sable
No,
and
no,
China
no,
did.
no, no,
One night in China, like China did one.
no, no, no. But this was in WWE. She was still in WWE, and she had a sex tape between her, Xavier Woods, and a couple of the other employees, which is
Oh,
the
so it was
big
more a sex
oof.
tape leaking. It wasn't like a professional thing.
Yeah,
Because like there
yeah.
were current WD stars that did
No,
Playboy back in the day.
no. She was. It did get leaked out, and it was very bad for the business. So not only that, but she's also got a very own Twitch page. WWE doesn't like Twitch.
I yeah, that one like the sex tape I get, it kind of sucks, but like the Twitch stuff I just kind of stupid because like either it's like they're doing it on like I think it's like they're doing it but with under their wrestling names, under like the names that like the branding that WWE owns is kind of what they're using to market it,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Um, but I just like, why don't you just do like a co-deal, like, like a person streams, they got to kick back some money to WWE, problem solved,
WWE won't do that. That's the problem. WWE won't do that unless you're Xavier Woods, Nikki and Brie Bella, or you're someone like on that high caliber that makes a lot of money.
I mean, honestly, I think WWE just as a brand could make a lot of money doing streaming. Just like
Mhm.
streaming or just streaming video. Like, imagine how cool would it be as if like you brought back like some old school wrestlers and they were playing like the Super Nintendo wrestling games or the PlayStation.
I
Like,
mean,
imagine if you brought Stone Cold Steve Austin and he's playing WWF No Mercy for the
I
PlayStation or
mean,
something. Like,
I
that would
mean,
be cool.
they have brought on WWE has allowed Xavier Woods to allow employees to be on his show, and that's fine and dandy because that's on YouTube. Whereas Twitch, you're actually legitimately getting paid by Twitch as a side hustle thing. That's the way it
I
is.
yeah, I feel like either WWE should.
Don't
Is it
forget
not
this
so
is
much a
the
money?
don't forget this is
Is
the
it not so
old
much a
regime.
money thing, or is it a control thing? Like, do they want to control the product? If it's being represented as a WD product, they want to be able to control that product. Is it that? Is that what it is?
They want to be able to get they wanted wrestlers obviously if they're gamers then that's fine, right? If they're gamers, genuine gamers, like Ronda Rousey has a Facebook page. I know she's got a Facebook gaming
Yeah, Ronda
page.
Rousey does Twitch as well. She does streaming.
I think Ronda Rousey gets away with it because she's the baddest woman on the planet, basically, right?
Well, also the thing with Ronda Rousey is she had a big fan base. Plus, they can't like Ronda Rousey is her own brand. It's not really a
Yeah,
brand created by W. It's because Ronda Rousey is a person who came into WWE and so it's like you can't really say it's a product created by WWE. So it's kind of a separate thing.
yeah.
It's kind of it's like if
Where
like
but
like
whereas Paige,
Logan
yeah,
Paul, they can't do jack crap. Like they signed him, but like they can't really control him because he came into it already having that fan base that he built himself, and he's not necessarily a WWE product. He's a person coming into WWE.
yeah. But I was gonna bring this up because I think this is something we should talk about. Is the fact that Paige, the reason why Paige was also let go, her England career was finished. Her
Mm-hmm.
leak tape, the leak tape that happened, and the fact that she made the Twitch page during the time at WWE, and WWE did not like that whatsoever because she was under investigation heavily because of this stuff. She had bad reputation behind the scenes. She got a lot of heat from from the higher ups. it, that's why WWE right now are just like, well, if you're with WWE, you got to represent us in a good way, in a represent us not in a good. If you don't represent us in a good way, we're not gonna allow you to do Twitch or allow you to do YouTube.
Like if Cody Rhodes wanted to open a Twitch channel and play Ocarina of Time, as long as he cleared it with WW, I don't think they'd have a problem with it.
Yeah, WWE will allow that as long as you
They
have
wouldn't. Yeah, it's like I don't think like as long as he cleared it with them first, and say, hey, I want to do
got
game streaming, just play random
backstage
video
heat
games.
on you, you're fine.
Yeah. So like like Cody Rhodes doing it,
Yeah.
like but I also think as long as he cleared it with them first, I think that would be the big thing.
Cody hasn't got backstage heat like Paige did. Paige is gone basically because of a backstage
Yeah, I
heat.
feel bad for
She's
her.
not.
I honestly do.
I don't, because honestly, she's one of those people that genuinely, even though she's from the UK, I get. Oh God. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, you're kind of cutting out
Can
in
you
and
still hear
out. I
me?
was trying to be patient. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so as I was saying, the reason why Paige isn't going to come back to wrestling is basically because she's got too much heat behind her. Her fan base knows that she's not going to return. She's got problems with Alberto Del Rio, as it is, the former WWE superstar,
Hmm.
now gone to AEW. She's a mess. She's a mess. She's an accident. She's accident waiting to happen, basically.
So, kind of shifting gears. What do you think about like some of the other WWE divas like Lacey Evans and Alexa Bliss? Because actually kind of an Alexa Bliss fan. Like, I actually watch some of her content on YouTube, and I gotta say, I'm kind of becoming an Alexa Bliss fan.
Alexa Bliss has a YouTube page, and honestly, she has probably one of the best Instagram posts ever. She's really cool. If you did not know this, she's very cool.
Lacey Evans also has a YouTube as well.
Yes, I know that one. I do know Alexa Bliss is very cool with Mike Rome, aka Austin. I think his name is Austin Rome. He goes on Twitch. He's the ring
Okay.
announcer, and they have like their very
Hmm.
own little crew and everything. So when she did her wedding, it was privatized and everything. She she basically posted on Instagram and everything, and it was really cool to see the behind the scenes stuff.
Hmm.
And she has a very good fan base. She hasn't got any backstage heat. She hasn't got any problems with WWE. She hasn't left the company. She hasn't walked out on the company ever, and she's
Yeah,
always a
she's just
good thing. She's always had a
yeah.
good thing.
I just like watching her perform because like she's just so charismatic on stage, and just like the way she moves and just like just like you can tell she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, and like from what I know, from what I've learned from the business, like from her perspective, like seeing it from a fan looking inside the business, she knows the in and outs. She knows like
Mm-hmm.
what's right and wrong, and there's nothing bad to say about it. I mean, she does charity work too. I mean, she does the what's it called, the Warrior Award stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She's done different things with WWE, which is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Lacey Evans, on the other hand, I've never seen her content, but I've seen the only person I've
She struggled a little bit. I mean, from what I've seen, she seems like a really good person. It's just her content has struggled a little bit.
yeah, but like I said, WWE knows what they're doing. They know that what the fans want, and
And then you
everything's on
got people
social
like
media.
Charlotte Flair, who is a pretty good wrestler in her own right, but like she
But
gets that push because he's Ric Flair's daughter, and like she's actually
she
benefited from Ric Flair participating in her storylines.
no, but here's the thing: she's been dropped by WWE on TV.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Why? Why they
Basically,
drop
because
Charlotte
she's got
Flair?
too much heat. She's got too much heat with Becky Lynch. Her and Becky Lynch
Hmm.
don't see eye to eye. It was said in multiple interviews. Charlotte and Becky don't like each other whatsoever,
Hmm.
on screen and off screen.
So are they welcoming back like people like Sasha Banks? Because I know she's probably got lots of heat backstage now.
She has got a little bit of heat on her, but I do know one thing about Sasha. At least she has that star power to promote WWE through, let's say, The Mandalorian, or let's say through other TV shows.
Or walking out on walking out. Like yeah. If she didn't have that star power, we would never hear from her again.
Yeah, if she didn't have that star power, we wouldn't hear from her again. Exactly. But because she has that star power, because she's in The Mandalorian, because she's part of
She was one of the
WWE.
first. She was one of the first breakout divas. You know,
Actually, you're wrong there. Quite wrong.
I'm talking about like the whole revolution like gonna happen around 2010 or so. Because like I
No, no,
know
no,
there was like before it.
no, no, no. There was somebody before Sasha actually breaking out.
Who was it?
Um, Queen Zelina.
Uh, So you're talking about like the push that the women got in like the 2010s, not like women wrestling in general.
She's at WWE right now. She's not on TV at the moment, but she was on the
Mm.
TV. She basically was on The Rock's production for Fighting with My Family, which is a page story.
Yeah.
So if you did not
Yeah,
know that,
that's another thing because like The Rock actually comes from like a huge wrestling family. Like I actually didn't know that like Roman Reigns actually is
it's,
like a cousin of The Rock.
I actually knew about that. I actually knew about that already. I knew that Roman Reigns, the Usos, and a couple of other things too.
Yeah, that's crazy. So we've kind of been streaming for about an hour or so. Is there
Yeah.
anything else you kind of want to end it on? Like anything last things you want to say?
All right. Do you mind if I promote myself real quick?
Oh, by all means. If you got any links to share, send them in private chat and I'll link them.
All right. So if you guys aren't following me on my YouTube page,
You should.
then what you guys doing? You guys should be subscribed to the Taladia Plays channel where I
What are
cover.
you doing to subscribe to this man?
I cover DC games. Slowly gonna transition into movies. Slowly. Um, and I'll be covering DCEU's news. Like that's something I'm gonna be doing.
All right.
Um, Also there's my Twitter. If you aren't following me, follow me on Twitter because whenever I do post anything that does go live,
Right.
then
Here's his YouTube. So I'm a bit behind, but like I'm kind of catching up here. There's his YouTube. So please subscribe to Taladia. And then if you liked the kind of the back and forth we had, make sure to check us out on the Friday Night Frenzy this Friday, where we'll be chatting about multiverses, Power Rangers, and whatever else comes to our mind.
yeah,
And then you can catch me tomorrow, where I'll be interviewing a fresh new author. It's going to be pretty fun interviewing her. She's actually been editing a lot of my stuff, so that'll kind of be a cool banter right there. And then should we announce the rewatch thing? Like, do you
yeah.
think that would be
Oh,
fun?
yeah. Just mention about the rewatch. Okay, guys. So the rewatch is happening uh this Sunday. Is it this Sunday or next Sunday? Let me double check.
This Sunday,
This
and
Sunday, yeah.
basic. Let me kind of give you a very blatant hint about what we'll be talking about.
I will find him!
That's how I feel about Hamada. I will find him. I will destroy him.
Yep. So basically, we're doing a rewatch of the DC Snyder films, and we'll be starting with Man of Steel. So if you want to
BVS.
be part, what?
Then it's Man of Steel. Then it's BVS.
BVS,
Then it'll be
Justice League.
Wonder Woman. No, then it's Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Then it'll
And
be
then
Zack Snyder. Snyderverse.
okay.
Snyder League.
Yeah, pretty much. So if you want to participate in it, you can rewatch it yourself, and then on Sunday we'll be talking about it. Kind of doing a kind of bit of a deep dive, and I'll be fresh in our heads, discussing about it. And yeah, it'll be this Sunday. I don't really have a time for you right now, but it'll probably be sometime afternoon, evening, or so. And it'll be Taladia, Jared from Comix League. That dude. He's awesome. I love that dude. And then
Yeah, we
myself
fucking
as
love him.
well.
We fucking love him.
I see. He's just so cool. He's just just honestly, if I could give a medal to like best human on earth, I'd put it over his neck. So yeah, that'll be this Sunday. It'll be on Jared's channel, and then we'll probably do it every Sunday thereafter. So yeah, and Friday night. So basically, yeah, tomorrow is Midweek Madness, where I'll be interviewing a great author, and then Friday Night Frenzy with me and Taladia. Unfortunately, Jared's work schedule changed, so he's not going to be able to participate, which is a bummer. But he'll be there in spirit, doing all the Snyder Cut reactions and just generally roasting me.
We have got big plans. Me, Jared, and Nick have got big plans coming up. So expect some big stuff. If you guys are into the DC stuff, into the multiverse stuff, into Gotham Knights, into Snyderverse, I appreciate the follow. I appreciate the subscription, Darius. Ever
Darius
so
is a
much.
really good guy. He follows me on Twitter. He is a really good fan, very loyal, and just an all around awesome dude. So you earned yourself a really good subscriber and follower. So you couldn't ask for a better fan.
Darius, trust me, I won't disappoint. I'm not like any other content creator out there. I'm one of a kind that literally covers DC games. DC slowly going to transition into movies, movies like trailers, theories, you name it. I'll be slowly transitioning into that. And on my
And
Twitch
and
page,
like
I cover any game.
sorry. I kind of
Yeah,
talked over you there for a second. But like I've only collabed with you a few times, but I can already tell you're a really great guy, and I've been really enjoying you, and I look forward to collabing with you a lot more. So
What's that
this has
emoji,
been
by the way?
I think
So-
maybe like an awkward smile or something. I'm not really sure.
I'm not really sure,
Darius,
but
if you can, Darius, can you clarify a little bit because you got us confused here?
yeah. But like I said, on my Twitch page, I cover any game and every game from shooter games to fighting games to story-based games, and I stream on Twitch 3 times a week or 4 times a week,
Wow.
depending on how I feel. 3 hours every time, so it's a solid 3 hours that you guys get with me. Currently, what I'm streaming is Final Fantasy VII Remake. I do multiverses as well.
I need to
When
play
Gotham
that so
Knights is
bad.
released,
I need to play that so bad.
it's just a regular smiley face, thumbs up there.
Uh,
Um, yes. So but yeah, like I said, though, I play any and every game that I can on Twitch. YouTube is strictly DC though, because DC is my main focus. It's my pride and
well, that's
joy.
because DC is
On
awesome. DC is awesome.
Yeah, that's why I cover it on YouTube compared to Twitch. Twitch, I can do anything. I have like 65 followers on Twitch,
Not
whereas
bad.
whereas YouTube, I'm on 205 subscribers thanks to Darius, one of your followers subscribing now, so I'm at
Yeah,
205.
yeah. I'm always happy. I'm always happy to spread the love. Like yeah, Twitter. I'm doing pretty well on. I'm actually kind of closing in on 800 followers on Twitter. YouTube, I've been struggling though. Like I kind of told you in the pre-show, like I'm
Yeah,
focusing on my comics, and YouTube is kind of more of a means to an end with it. So it's like it kind of makes sense why I'm not doing that well. Um, but yeah, so this has been a really good stream. So
yeah.
this has been Nick from the Phoenix Press, and you are.
I'm Claudia Plays from Inside the Multiverse, a DC Comics podcast. If you guys aren't checked that out yet, also mind if I plug that in real quick.
Oh, please, by all means.
Yeah, which is a comic book DC Comics podcast that I do every 2 weeks. Um, Myself and DC Comics Gamer will be having Nick, which is on this side, by the way. I forgot. Yeah, it's on this side. Nick's on this side.
Yeah, I can get
Yeah,
a bit disorienting, so you're not alone.
yeah. So if you guys aren't following me there, if you haven't subscribed to that channel, what you guys doing? Make sure you guys do check that out. And
Sub to this channel.
sub to that channel because you are missing out on some great
So
content
much,
there.
so much good stuff. So much good stuff.
So
So
much stuff, and also we do have a Discord server. Mind if I promote that as well?
might as well. I mean, you're promoting everything else.
Yeah, yeah. It's just that
Yeah, but
if
make
you
this the
guys,
last one because I want to wrap
yeah,
up. So
yeah. This is the last one. Trust me, it is the last one. It's
that's
the
what they
last
all
one.
say.
No, I'm serious. So this is a Discord server,
I'm
community
just, I'm
Discord
just,
server.
I'm just being funny.
Yeah, it's all good.
So,
So,
if you're feeling like you want to cause some discord, follow this Discord.
yeah, it's a great DC Discord server. We talk about DC in
I'm
there.
in it as well, so find me.
You'll find Nick
So,
there. You'll find Jared in there. You'll find a lot of new people in there too.
will we find you?
Yes, I'm on every day on Discord.
Awesome. So this has been Nick from the Phoenix Press, and remember, I can only show you the door. You're the one to walk through it. Bye.